Hey, welcome back to the Gemini channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Gemini. Know that energy is fluid, roles can be reversed, interpret the message as it best resonates. Also, know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading, so I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play it as karmic themes. This will allow you to see why things are playing out the way that they are, how you contribute to the imbalances, and gives you an opportunity to see what you can do to change the outcome, change the situation, shape shift the situation. Now, if you want to enter into winning free reading with me, you have to be open to getting a shadow reading. You have to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out, and this is the underlining energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. That's really important when we're looking at shadows, people that have a lot of shadows, spiritual blocks, because we don't understand why they do what they do. And we want to know a lot of times, why do I keep attracting these type of people? And what can I do to change the situation, if not try to change the connection so it becomes balanced, if it can even become balanced, or just so I don't keep reliving the same type of karmic theme that keeps me stuck in a place of disempowerment, fear, any emotion that's derived from fear. I mean, there's only two energies, love and fear. But when we have a lot of spiritual blocks, we tend to always be fearful. So when we're fearful, we don't make the best choices. We tend to be coming from the survival mind, and that's not the way that we're supposed to go. We're supposed to always come from a place of unconditional love. And all emotions that are derived from emotion of unconditional love. And so a lot of times we're not. Did I say emotional love, unconditional love? So again, unconditional love, there is no ownership, there is no expectation. However, when we have fear and spiritual blocks, we've detached, we've rejected from parts of ourselves. And those are either parts of ourselves that are undeveloped, that we don't even know that, because we can't be shame and we can't be victimization. We have to, again, actually figure out who we are, but we have to heal what we think that we are. And that's by integrating the spiritual lesson first. So healing is the awareness and then the actual integration and transmutation process. You are your own healer. I am just a conduit for spirit to speak. So again, a lot of times you'll have to create the balance when we talk about the actual shape-shifting part of the connection. And that is if you didn't do it yourself, because sometimes we do it ourselves, right? Sometimes we learn the lesson on our own because we see, what is that? The sun between the trees, or there's a saying, we see it. We see what's off, so we don't need to actually go through the karmic lesson. So we see it, we avoid the negative karmic retribution on our own. Now, anything of any importance or relevancy channel you find in the description box. If you're someone that's in need of shadow healing, sign up to be on my wait list. October 1st is my big unveiling. This is where I am going to talk about what I've created. I've created something to help people heal the effects of their trauma. So what this includes is also something that helps with emotional intelligence, something that helps with anxiety, something that helps with depression, something that helps you manifest, something that helps open up your psychic abilities. So it's something pretty huge. So if this sounds appealing, definitely go to the description box and sign up to be on my wait list. Again, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is knowledge and wisdom, knowledge and wisdom. That knowing, that's claircognizance, which I don't know how I know, I just know. And so I feel like you have a spiritual connection with someone that knows that you're their person. They might have not known you were their person before now, but they certainly know you're their person now. And part of that is they never had a spiritual connection. And I feel like they would talk about it, but they were surrounded by people that downplayed it. That were like, oh, like it doesn't mean anything, and you should just like not get all caught up in that, because I feel like their friends thought that they would lose themselves in the relationship, because for them to like actually be talking about like you or anybody, well, that means less time for them, less control for them. And I just feel like if it wasn't their friends, it was a family member, it could have been a karmic, it could have been anybody. And I'm feeling like they were around different people, and the conversation of soulmates came up, and it was a completely different perspective. And it resonated with your person. So there's a knowing and a knowledge that there's, first and foremost, that there is an ESP connection through the heart and mind. No one needed to tell this person that. They always felt it. I feel like they questioned the relevance of a spiritual connection. And this person has a lot of fear around relationships. And the reason why is because they tend to have attachments. And attachments are people that are codependent, controlling, jealous, manipulative, and people that they tend to feel like they have to lose themselves to be with. And I feel like they were attached to a karmic for a long time, that the relationship was this way. And I'm feeling like they might have mentioned to that karmic, and that might have mentioned, they did mention you to that karmic, and this karmic was the one that put like the negative spin on soulmate twin flame. And also I feel like doesn't really like your person. I'm going to call them your person, even though they dated them, they're not happy with them. They weren't happy with the way that things ended, and for whatever reason they're still connected, but they may act like a friend, but more like a friend of me. And they don't really want anyone to take their space, but they don't really want to be with that person either. And that's really what an attachment is. And after a long time, I feel like your person was codependent. They don't want to get into a relationship and lose themselves, but that always happens. And I feel like because they're the giver, and they tend to go for people that are not on a high vibration. They like to be the fixer. They like to be the healer. They don't see the manipulation, the damsel in distress, the person that blows up their ego and, makes them feel really important, but they're doing it to form an attachment. And then once the person has an attachment, they expect certain things, and they make the relationship go because they manipulate it, meaning your person's not ready to do everything that that person wants, but they guilt them and they manipulate them, and they say how they should do it, that would be the right thing. And so your person doesn't have enough of an identity of their own, so they tend to act very powerless. Now I feel like that they've been around this person that showed them a different perception of what an actual soulmate is. Now they're like, again, looking at the karmic and looking at their life, and also just feeling just empty and depleted, that they're having anxiety and worry, feeling like that you've moved on, and they're being really insecure. They were insecure before, but even more so now. And so it's like they don't know what to do, because they avoided you, because they avoided blame, because they know they dropped the ball. I feel like they didn't really know what they wanted, and they listened to other people downplay the connection. Like, no, it doesn't mean anything. No, like it's like that you wouldn't be in a good relationship anyway. It doesn't really work for you. And only if you're insecure will you listen. This person has a lot of trauma. And I feel like it triggered your trauma, where you're like, okay, you can, I feel the connection between us. You do too. I know that this is a very spiritual connection. Look at the sacred geometry, the dove. I mean, there's knowing, knowledge. It's again that clear cognizance, ESP through the heart and mind. That's clear cognizance. That's a soulmate. That's a deep connection. And you should be here for me. You should be nurturing me. And instead, you've abandoned me more times than none. You never show up for me. Instead, you create the illusion like you care, but I don't really know who you are. All I know is that I feel powerless in this connection. Well, the reason why you feel powerless in this connection, Gemini, is because you're not conducting the relationship. This person isn't in a relationship with you. They're in a relationship with the people that have talked about you. They're in a relationship with the karmic, even though they're not in a relationship with the karmic, because they listened to the karmic. They didn't listen, that they didn't listen to you. Because I feel like, again, they're avoiding you, and they're avoiding you because they don't want to get the blame. So, you would say, well, I told you what I wanted. This person procrastinated. They slow walked it. They didn't know what they wanted. And part of that is because they're used to attachments, even though they fear attachments. So their idea of what a relationship's supposed to look like is kind of out of balance. It's that, they want it, they want the attachment to chase them and follow to build up their ego, but they don't want that type of relationship. And that's why with the karmic, it fell apart. It's like that karmic did everything that they wanted and kept your person on a low vibration. But in that, it also means that they don't have an identity. They're still attached to people that they really shouldn't be attached to if they're asking for advice and they're actually listening about advice. Then that's why you feel like you're more with that person. You're not with me. And instead of you coming to me and apologizing, again, you're talking to somebody else, asking somebody else how to treat me. And again, because they don't know, well, how much should I give? What should I do? Should I hold back? Should I give? So of course the karma is like, hold back, hold back. And they don't know how to think for themselves. Part of them is like, I don't know whether I want to let go of the karmic because I'm going to ask, but I'm going to play this little game here. And it's a way that I avoid you. I avoid you because I don't really want to apologize. I want to I don't want to have to make a decision on what I want. So I'm going to stay in this limbo space, hope that you come back to me, and then I'm going to act like I don't really know what to do, but I don't really know what I want to do. But I wouldn't know what I want to do because I haven't given this connection any time. And that's what I'm saying about your person. They haven't given that person, they haven't given you that time, especially if they're asking the karmic what they should do. And if they're listening to them, they're listening to bad advice. And so it means that they're cut off from their intuition. It means that they're cut off from actually knowing, because what did this reading start off with? This reading is like, I know who you are. I know who you are. But because of my trauma, I have attachments. So I act as if I'm powerless. And I really am like, let fear control me. But now, I'm worried. And in the fact that they're worried and they don't know what to do, they avoid. So it's almost like it gets worse and worse and worse. Like the hole doesn't need to get that deep. It's just what this person tends to do. you know, they avoid, they ask the wrong people. It creates a lot of unnecessary drama too. And then they clearly can't read the karmic because, and they, you know, that they would be able to pick up that the karmic like really doesn't want to hear person moving on. I mean, because they're bashing them, they're telling them, like, you're not really like the relationship type, and things don't really work out for you. And remember, like, what it was, because they dated them. They hate them. They're like, I hate the way that you treated me, and you're going to talk to me about somebody else. I don't want to see you happy. It's like I may not hate you to the point that I want you dead, but I don't want to see you happy with anyone else. It's like, but I can hold this space. It's like, and that's mainly because the karmic doesn't know what they want. They're like, I don't know if I want you or I don't want you. I want you, but I don't want you the way that you are to me. I want you the way that you are to the person that you're obsessing about, that you told me about. And so that's what that your person created. They created somebody that's extremely jealous and continues to put roadblocks in your person's way because your person's not strong. It's like they make them question themselves, question the connection, and in that they're holding back from you. And in order to stay suppressed and not listen to their intuition that's screaming at them, mind you, because that's how the reading started, they do things to numb themselves because they know, like I said, they know who you are. It's like, but they don't need to ask the karmic. They don't need to ask. It's almost like I feel like they want the karmic to give them permission, and that's not going to happen. Like, I want permission. I want to be happy. I want to go on, but then they're not going to be there for you. It's almost like this person's not strong, and in it's like you got tired of the dry spell. You're like, you're not giving me anything, not giving me anything emotionally. And if you're not giving me anything emotionally, I definitely don't want to be with you intimately, because you're not showing up for me. You're not showing up for me. And it's like you act like, I feel like this person just acts like they act like they care more about they act like they almost care more about that karmic. And I say that because the X factor, but it's like this person like doesn't really treat you like an equal. It's like when you ask too many questions, and when you like, they either avoid or they lash out, where you're like, okay, like I don't, and that's again a way for you to not keep asking questions because this person doesn't know what they want. And that's what I feel. I feel like, and the X factor, even though this card, I don't know why it says X factor on there, I will say that there's a part of you that's like, with that karmic, you care more about the karmic because you're listening to that person. So you're not really letting go of that person. It's like, because they shouldn't have a say on how you're treating me. You should have built up a connection with me to make that decision yourself. But instead, you felt okay to hold back from me to make that person like happy or appease them because you didn't want to like create waves. And that's because your person, like I said, like they fear. They fear, because I feel like the connection with karmic was a bad connection, and before then it was really bad. I feel like again needs a lot of inner child healing needs to be done. And if either one of you have children, then I feel like somebody is always hiding behind their children. And if they're not, that's another way that they avoid getting close. But I really feel like this is a sense where children need to be healed because this person wants to control. They want to dominate. And they want to dominate because they don't know what they want and they don't know it's like they don't want to let go of that karmic. That's what the energy is there. And so that's the thing when a person doesn't feel bad to let go of a karmic, but then is okay to like keep the person that they supposedly care about waiting on the side, holding back, all of that. Of course they know. You said like they know that they acted aloof. Like, and that's the thing. But this person, yes, they're stubborn, but it's like they are also are like really determined to figure out what they should do. Like again, and because there's part of them that feels stuck by this connection, not even like I'm so in love. They're like, it's uncomfortable now. And it's because energetically, they're connected to you. They know that they didn't treat you right. Now that they listen to the karmic and so much time has gone by and you haven't come back, there's a sense of like, this is really uncomfortable because they know that they acted like they didn't care. But the thing is, they thought by acting that they didn't care for a long time, eventually that the relationship would fizzle out. Because I feel like, again, they're uncomfortable being uncomfortable. And so it's like every now and again they're with that karmic, but they don't really have like deep desire for the karmic. They're just comfortable. And so, it's like with you, it would be completely having to start all over. And they would have to give up some of their power, and that makes them nervous. The problem is that the relationship was unbreakable. The bond was unbreakable, which is why I feel like the karmic is going crazy right now, because karmic's like, they kept putting obstacles in, feeding them, negative things that like to ruin their self-esteem, tell them to procrastinate, to hold back from you. And the person did all that. They listened to the karmic, but now they're so uncomfortable. They're so uncomfortable that they have to be wasted all the time to detach and not feel. And this is pissing the karmic off. Yeah, your person feels like, again, that right now they're friendless, like that they don't have anybody, and they know that you're their person, but they have to get rid of the third party. They literally have to get rid of the third party, okay? But they know that you are their person. So they watch you on social media. They keep contact, like connected to you through like your social media, through like mutual friends, like as a way of staying close to you. So even though they haven't talked to you and they haven't listened to this karmic, it's like they still want to know what's going on. And that's why, like you said, the karmic is like, oh, by now, what the fuck? It's like by now you would have given up. That's what they say. They're like, I don't understand. Like they just want it to go back to the way that it was. They're comfortable too. Like even though they're not getting what they need, they just can't bear to see that your person go on without them. It's like how they see it is, I've been here for a long time. We have history. Even though we're not exactly happy, it's like it should have worked. And there's always the idea of, even though it didn't work, I still always thought that I would wind up with you. So it's like very weird and delusional thinking on this karmic's part. So let's see what your person's going to do. Let's go even deeper. Where is my this? I'm just going to pull 3. And then we're going to see why you attracted this person into your life. Okay, there's one coming out. Our mission is to be unconditional love. Clearing our programming is necessary part of opening our hearts. So I feel as if this person, is, I feel, is your twin flame, to be honest with you, because they tried to get rid of you. And what they see is they have staying power. Yes, they were connected to a karmic, but it's like the mission is to be unconditional love. You both have spiritual blocks, and this person tried to walk away, and you tried to walk away. The bond, like I said, is unbreakable, and it's because you're both are twin. And I say that because this person's connected to a karmic, that karmic was a little too comfortable in their position, thinking that they would always have that position, where the only thing that can trump that type of connection, because it's almost like a trauma bond connection, that you could be fooled into thinking that it's a twin flame connection, because it's like the twin flame has that craziness to it too, but meaning that passion and the chemistry. However, it doesn't turn toxic. With the karmic and your person, it turned toxic. And then it just didn't, it wound up just going south. The intimacy problems got so bad because of trust that there was no more passion. So the karmic is still holding on to, like, maybe the passion, maybe one day coming back, and I'm not happy watching you move forward. And here it is that your person really does have passion for you. They don't want to have passion for you because there's a part of them that is still attached to this karmic, and they're like, they don't want to hurt that person, but they can't help it. They feel like your energy, you and them are a better match. They see signs and synchronicities everywhere. 1111, they're awakening up to the fact that karmic is exactly that, a karmic. That is, they're not the same thing. They see the difference. They have something to compare to. I don't think that you person ever had anything to compare. And that karmic has such a strong manipulative personality, and your person is a little insecure and needs healing. So the combination actually made a perfect storm, where, your person was easily, like, it's easier for them to stay where they were, even though uncomfortable. They began to get comfortable, where I believe that this karmic lets your person stay in a low vibration energy in order that they don't really ever move on, but they stay connected. So it's a weird, really weird attachment. But your person has unconditional love for you, and it's like they're have anxiety. They're actually praying that you'll come back after everything that's happened between you and them, and that they worry that you're not going to forgive them, and they are like, they want another chance with you, and this is driving the karmic crazy. That's what I had felt. They're like, I need you to trust me and believe I'm working towards union with you. They're coming back. They don't know how, but this is what's making this karmic have a nervous breakdown, because they're like, I know, and they do. And it's like, my inner child was wounded when my parents couldn't respond to me in the way that I needed to. I'm reacting from that wound. So they reacted from that wound, and that's why they have that attachment. They have that attachment because of that. So they're reflecting back and seeing, why was that? And then they also see, well, like, they seeing that it's their fault, like that why they're not talking to you. My ego was fragile to criticism and rejection. I've created walls to protect myself. And that's understand, this is what the twin flame journey is supposed to do. It doesn't just make this person say, oh, I'm so hot for you, let me leave a karmic. No, it makes this person heal themselves, so they fall in love with themselves. This person doesn't like themselves. If they're that easily manipulated by a karmic, they are not spiritually evolved at all. They could run a company, they could be a business, they could be a president of a company. It doesn't matter. They are not secure. And that's the issue. And so that this is, my heart is opening to love and guiding me back to you. And that's the thing. It's like, regardless of the fact that they wanted to walk away from this connection. They can't walk away. They've been manipulated. They've been manipulated so much that they awaken to the fact that they have been being manipulated, which allowed them to see the difference between you and this karmic. They had something to compare to. And then on top of it, it's like it's making them say, "Well, how did I get here? Why aren't we talking?" Like they don't even remember why. They wanted you to reach out. Again, they wanted to slow walk it. It was their pride, their ego. But it's really because I feel like the karmic like kept them confused. They were around the karmic and they heard every single day what they should do, how they should act. And so I believe that that would only work with a person that had a very low self-esteem. There are subconscious fears, again, that are helping, that are coming to the surface because of this connection, and that the universe is helping you both like heal so that you can attract what you want, including each other. And that's literally what's happening right now. So, and that's what the twin flame journey is actually does. The twin flame journey is that it's that a lot of times when people are ready to step into their divine being. And that's this person's ready to do that. But in order to do that, they have to let go of the karmic. And like you said, I don't think that for a long time that they knew how. And also they felt guilty. And there was never really a reason why. And I feel like because this person was so manipulative, the person was like convinced that they were their soulmate, that they were their important person, but they weren't. They're karmic because it's, again, your person does not want to be with them, and they're staying in a low vibration in order to be with them because they do substances, they suppress who they are in order to stay in an interconnection that they don't really want to be in, and that is how you know that they're a karmic and not the twin flame, where with you, you really are a twin flame to them because they're looking at, how did I get here? Why are we in this situation? And it's making this person come back to you. So they know their ego is fragile. That's why. And that they have, again, those inner child wounds. That's why they acted the way that they did. So again, making them go deep inside of themselves to do healing. And also they have to come back, meaning they have to apologize. They have to be different. And that's what they said. It's like they are coming back to you. They know that they're coming back to you. So that's how we know that, again, you are the twin flame. They're realizing that they've been connected to a karmic this whole time. And this is where the karmic is like losing their mind because they're like, I thought that I could take, your place almost. I thought that, I could convince over time. And what it is it's like they're not getting the same version of your person as you would. See, they thought they were going to where your person would just stay. Well, your person will stay there, but they'll stay suppressed, drinking, drugging, cheating, running around, where with you, your person doesn't want to do that. They actually want to raise, but they're like, if I have to stay here, this is how I'm going to stay. And this is making, again, the karmic fucking lose their mind because they're like, what the hell is this? It's like they were so happy, like thinking that they were winning, where they're not winning. You won because you manipulated, and that's really what is shown to them every day. They can't pretend that your person wants to stay there. See, over time, they would be like, oh, you would just give in and forget about it. And it would be like, well, see, we really are meant to be together. This is just the dynamic of our relationship. Every few years, you want to go stray and you stray, but you never leave me. You always stay. Well, this time, like, that's not it. Because again, it's almost like the connection was so strong that your person couldn't couldn't cut it. And so we ask, why did you attract this person into your life? Discipline. I feel like they didn't give you time. And part of discipline was not to reach out to this person. A twin flame soulmate connection. It's like there is a lot of chemistry. You did miss this person. This person did hurt you. You didn't know what happened. And really what happened is that they weren't ready to be in the connection at the time, and they didn't know what they wanted. And so you had to be disciplined in being like, no, I'm not going to call you. I'm going to stand in my truth, and I'm going to put my energy towards something else. And I feel like if you grew up in an environment that was confusing, and confusing because you had to be your own parent, confusing because, again, didn't really feel safe and supported, but you always had your very strong intuitive gifts. You always had an element about you that you were always able to entertain yourself, always able to get by. And I feel like you have very strong intuitive gifts. It's again magic. So you discipline yourself, and I feel like you found your magic because this connection was too confusing. And it was too confusing because they weren't giving you anything. But when you were growing up, you didn't get emotionally either. So you put the energy into yourself then too, as a way to avoid the confusion of, I don't know why, like, no one shows up for me. I don't know why I feel as if I'm not being loved, nurtured. I mean, when we find our magic, it's usually because, as children, it's because we're usually very internal, like internalize everything. And we, again, have to figure out things on our own. Again, loner, like literally. So it's like you were going to be a loner because you didn't have that. So when you're a loner, you tend to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And I feel like as a kid, you really weren't as disciplined. And so there were certain parts of yourself that, yes, you were intuitive, but you didn't know what your gifts were. You didn't really know the things that you were good at. There were parts, elements of yourself that were not developed because of the environment. It wasn't really a stable one. It was one that, again, you had to figure things out on your own. Two more, again, lies and secrecy. So again, growing up in an alcoholic family, growing up, again, where there's infidelity, growing up where there's a secret. So you can't really let people into your life, and then you're also protecting the lie and the secret. So that's what your identity really is a lies and secret, because you're not going out and finding yourself. You're more protecting what is imbalanced in life. Children are taught to be very loyal to their families and to protect. So I just feel like this person, again, the lies and the secrets is the fact that they didn't want to let go of that karmic. They weren't letting go of the karmic because they didn't know what they wanted. You put the energy into yourself because you're like, I don't trust it because you're giving me, it's too, it shouldn't be that confusing. So even though I have feelings for you, I'm going to discipline myself, and I'm used to being a loner anyway. And when you're by yourself, that's when you find yourself. Again, and you put your energy and you poured your energy into your own, I feel like, endeavors. So creativity could be like an actual project that you were doing, into your crafts, into hobbies, interests, whatever it is, and that's where you found your magic. It opened up a doorway for you. So that some of you wind up putting energy into like a hobby that you always had, and it turned into a job. You put, or another income, or connected you to other people. It opened up, like I said, doorways. So you disciplined yourself to do it because this person wasn't giving you what you needed. And that's really what it is. They still acted like games, but I feel like, and inevitably, what makes this person come back to you is the fact that they don't want to be with the karmic anymore. It's again, they know that the situation that they've been in has really like come to an end. They're done with it. They don't want it. They don't want it anymore. So I feel like that karmic is getting more and more and more and more irritated. They feel it. I'm almost feeling as if your person wants the karmic to do it, to want them to end it. But that's why, again, they had talked to that karmic about you and hoping that they would say, yeah, like you should go off with that person that loves you. You should go off. You should, things didn't work out with us. You should, no, that's not gonna ever happen. The karmic's never gonna do it. And I feel like major problems are happening like right now, and if not now, they're happening really soon with that karmic. And it's because your person's changing. They don't want to be with them. They know that you're their soulmate. And they also, like I said, see too many times that, you know, who this karmic is, and that's really what turned them off. I have to say, the karmic did it to themselves in the end, and it's because they kept putting obstacles. They kept trying to manipulate. They kept trying to, so in the fact that they wouldn't let your person like have the idea themselves of what do I want? I know I don't really want to be with you, but let me figure it out myself, where the karmic got so much anxiety and tried to control so much that they saw your person wasn't budging. The more that they tried to control, the more that your person was not just trying to suppress themselves from not feeling you, but trying to like suppress themselves from not feeling the karmic, because they became so overwhelming and so controlling that they're like, you don't let me have my life. You won't let me come up with the decision myself. So I'm seeing the difference. So the karmic actually is what did it. And in the end, it's like they tried to put too many barriers, too many obstacles, too many setbacks, to the point that your person finally figured out, you're manipulating me. And being that you're manipulating me and you're trying to control me, it's like, and the conversation that they had with that other person, it's like they're piecing everything together. And though it's like a very slow process, this is what's making your person come back. And to say, like, you know what, I'm gonna come in and I'm really gonna do whatever it takes to try to fix this. I'm determined because it's like I realize who you are. I knew who you were before I wasn't listening to it, mainly because of my fear, mainly because of my childhood trauma. I couldn't really trust myself. I asked the wrong person. I took the advice. I never thought that person, which I think was a little foolish, to be honest with you, and a little bit like, this is why the karmic hates them. It's like, because it's like for them to ask and not even take the karmic's feelings into consideration. That connection was over a long time ago, and the karmic was playing along with it, as long as your person wasn't going off with anyone else. So as long as it looked good from the outside, the karmic was fine. But the thing is, it doesn't look fine now. Everybody knows that they don't want to be with them, and that's the little green monster that ended the connection, because your person was like, I don't want this. I see exactly what this is now. It's like they couldn't have, they made this happen. They saw it, like your person saw you've manipulated me, like it couldn't have played out any more like in plain daylight for your person to be like, oh my God, this whole time I've been manipulated. And really what Spirit's saying is it's all about vitality. Understand that you're a being of light, that you accept the divine energy in your body, and every one of your cells regenerates. So the body and mind are self-healing organisms. Your person felt like they didn't have any energy either. And again, kept them in a low consciousness, low vibrational consciousness, because again, they're not coming from their true self, not coming, like having to listen to the karmic. So I feel like the message here is anything that gives you energy, vitality, is a positive thing. If we get confused, we should know whether something's right or wrong by how it feels. And so you give this connection energy, they give you energy. This connection is a positive one because your person's ready to step into their divine being to give you what you want, because they realize that again that this soulmate is something that is a special connection and is worth fighting for. And it would, like I said, have to be a soulmate twin flame in order for this person to really be able to see the difference of, hey, you've been manipulated. That's not your soulmate. That's not a twin flame. This is a karmic mate that steals energy, that will steal your vitality. It's not of God, it's not of the highest consciousness. The universe didn't bring you this. The universe is God. It's not bound together through unconditional love. It's bound together through manipulation, through, again, keeping you stuck to your bad habits, your bad behaviorisms to cope with life. Again, which is what's stealing the energy. So that's at the end of the day, if you don't know, well, you should know by the way that you feel. I'm going to leave that there. Gemini, you let me know how you resonated with this. And if you're someone that's in need of shadow healing coaching, remember, I have a wait list going on for the big unveiling October 1st of my big healing the effects of trauma. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's something that's not just to heal the effects of trauma, but help you with open up your psychic abilities, help you to just manifest the life and the life experiences that you want to have. So if this is something that interests you, sign up to be on my wait list. The link is in the description box along with all other important links. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.